Hi, welcome to a new video dedicated to a new super compact micro tiny hoop FPV machine. This is the Happymodel Snapper6, and there is also the big brother, the Snapper7 in 75mm. What we have with this Snapper6, we have a 65mm FPV brushless machine, just about 30 grams, with some 0603 motors, but spinning at 19,000 kV. You may think, oh, 0603 motors, so probably less strong than 0703. But the trade-off, the gain of weight with such kind of micro machine can save such kind of motor. So don't desperate, and it can be a pretty nice surprise. I've got the standard edition coming with 3 LiPo. In fact, it's some LEHV high voltage battery and a parallel charger. You can find this machine either with a FearSky receiver, and there is a good news for the FearSky receiver. In fact, the connection is not done via S-Bus or PPM, some stuff like this. It's directly done via SPI connection. It's a built-in FearSky receiver, and thanks to this new SPI connection, you can select either in D8 mode or in D16 mode. So whatever your radio, whatever you want, it will bind your favorite FearSky compatible radio. More, the RSSI will be here, at least for the OSD. That's great. So let's discover this new bundle. Okay, let's open it. First things, we have the instruction manual. And as you can already notice, this one is pretty similar to all the Hachin or XK model, so probably we have the same factory behind. We can find all the characteristics here. Okay, so the 0603 19,000 kV. We have some 5 ampere built-in ESC, of course supporting BLLE S and D-Shock 600 technologies. Okay, and you will see that the frame is a mixture in carbon and some aluminum structure. Is not full plastic based. Okay, and we can find here all the instructions how to tune the IO camera. So one unique button, probably locked into the NTSC system. You can select one of the 6 V-band, 48 channel in total. Okay, and here how to bind. I will show where to access the bind button, and here the novelty here is the selection in Betaflight of the SPI RX support. Okay, then either FearSky X for the D16 or FearSky D for the D8 mode. Okay, and it's great. We have all the elements if you want to tune the BLLE S option. But it's classic, it's well printed, compact, everything is here. So a great instruction manual in very good English. The machine, where already one of the LEHV battery is pre-installed, so it's almost ready to bind and you can go. The parallel charger is the same that came with some other Happymodel. So you have 2 types of connector, PH20 or the micro 1.25. You have 2 switches. One is to select the LiPo or LEHV mode, and the other one is the charge amount. So between, if I can read, 0.2 up to 0.5 ampere. The problem with such kind of parallel charger, with the display here, you will cycle between the 6 ports. It's a little bit hard to control all the 6 parallel charging. How to power? You can use either a DC connector plug to your main power unit. Okay, so it's accepting between 7 up to 25 input, or directly with an XT30 battery, for example. A 3S could be a very nice option. Good news also, it's also exporting a +5 volt via USB. Could be a nice option as well. So what we have, a bag with 4 spare props. That's great. Even if we have some prop guards, it's always good. There are some 30mm models, 3 blades, so it's probably the best trade-off between power lift versus flight duration. A screwdriver, it can be very useful to set the lens orientation, because yes, you can tune it, and by default it's installed with the maximum up tilt angle, but you can install it more horizontally if you want. Just unfast the 2 lateral screws. What we have also 2 other rubber spare band and some super micro tiny screws, so, and a prop remover tool as well. Finally, what we have, 2 spare LE-HV 250 mAh model, 3060 CSD charge rate. Okay, and if you are interested by the weight, for example, this one are close to 6 grams, just a little bit more, 6.3 grams, ending with the GST PH20. Okay, so it's common for such kind of size. Let's immediately give the total weight of this machine. It's 30.3 grams, all included. That's great. And if you want to know the exact dimension, it's more compact. It's one of the most compact brushless machine I never had. Say, for example, this one is about, as expected, about 65 millimeters in diagonal. So let's check a little bit the structure. I will remove first the battery. Okay, so simply attached with, by default, with this rubber band, and you can see that everything, okay, at least for the lower structure, we have a complex carbon element, okay, and this one is about 1 millimeter of thickness. Yes, 1 millimeter, so not so bad. And look that the motors are attached to the main intelligent board via some micro GST connector, 1125 if I'm not wrong. So the motors are here, and they are super tiny, but this is a 19,000 kV model. Let's compare, for example, this model with another model based on the 0603 motor. It is the HB68. So I installed a Firsky XM Plus on it. So the weight with the 260 is about 32.2, so close to 2 grams more heavy. But some weight could be gained if a more lighter Firsky receiver, the Micro FR, I recently reviewed associated with the model I had with, okay, and it was an excellent choice. So maybe 1 gram could be safe, but whatever the case, this one is more lighter and is more compact. Look, the size is a 68, this one 65, you can feel it, so even more adapted for our indoors practicing. So on the bottom side, let's continue, we can find the antenna of the built-in 2.4 GHz antenna receiver, sorry. So how to bind it? It's on the front here, and I will try to make a close up. Okay, if it's focus, yes, maybe a little bit less. It can be really. You have a super tiny look at the tip of the screwdriver. Here you have a super small micro switch. Here you can press to and hold to do the binding procedure. So be aware, it's very hard to find. It's super compact. For the I/O module and the access to the button is a little bit more tricky if you don't want to remove the top canopy structure. One strange element is how is attached to the top structure. You have 2 bolts, so if you want to remove it to access more easily to the board, you will have to remove the bolt. It's not usual to attach a top structure by some nylon bolt. Whatever, I would prefer maybe some basic screws, but it's like this. So how to access? You can enter either by this rear hole, and you can hold the button, no real problem, but it's not super ideal to access. And as I said previously, you can up tilt. Look that, look, the maximum angle is more than 35 degrees and down to something close to 0. So you can have much more aggressive flight for indoors or outdoors more specifically. That's great. And when you adjust, just need to secure your favorite up tilt angle laterally via the two screws. So no real problem to access to the unique IO FPV module. That's great. You can read correctly all the light through this transparent canopy. Let's power the machine. Okay. And okay, the buzzer is not super strong, so we can probably play with the LLS option to increase the beeper level strength, okay, to more find your problem or your machine. But whatever, you can read the blue light, okay, it's a row, superior rows is for indicating one of the 6 V-band, and the bottom more for the one of the 8 V-frag inside the static current band. You have the green light laterally for the receiver, and front we have even 2 small LEDs for a night flight or for loss orientation flights. That's great. The micro USB port can be found on the bottom side. I forgot to mention a few minutes ago. So what I can say, I'm really enthusiastic by this new design. Okay, so I really hope that thanks to this 2 gram gain and thanks to stronger motors, because I forgot to mention this one got 0603 motors but only 16,000 kV. Okay, this one are 19,000 kV and 2 gram more lighter, so it can make all the difference. Okay, so that's great. We have a built-in USD with the RSSI. Everything is here. Updating camera, that's great. For the IO we have a basic model and don't expect too much. We will see how handle this IO module for the light transition. I don't expect something very exceptional. For the structure, usually the prop guard is done in plastic. Here is not the case. It's super light aluminum structure, so the frame I'm really sure will be durable. So that's another very good positive point. So it's time to go to Betaflight, check the default settings. Okay, and the first thing to do is to bind this machine. Okay, so as I said previously, we need to press and hold this tiny button while selecting either FreeSky X, okay, and FreeSky D. I will check first in Betaflight what is the default protocol. Okay, probably the most tricky part is the binding procedure for this machine. Why? Because the micro bind button is super small and it's super hard due to the position of the micro USB to have lay the Snapper6 in horizontal and to be able to press and hold this micro switch button. So already pre-bind it, sorry guys, because it's super tricky to do with 2 hands only with the camera. So I use a power bank because it's a little bit more easy to insert the micro USB with 1 finger like this, okay, and to keep it press this switch button like this. So I even had to remove the 2 nylon bolts to be to have a more easy access. But the good news, one is bound, so by default it's in D16 mode with the FreeSky X, and I changed to the more classic D8 a little bit in order to reduce the latency to 11 milliseconds, okay. But the good news, if you go to the telemetry, we have some telemetry information, at least for the RSSI. That's great. And let's check on the FPV monitors, okay, and you will see that this one is displayed on top left. But since it's a built-in SPI a receiver, you won't see anything, any RSSI activity on the receiver section. Okay, don't be afraid, whatever, everything goes through SPI directly. Now let's check the default Betaflight settings. Okay, so let's check the default Betaflight setting. Let's connect, and after a couple of seconds we will check the current version installed. And we have the 3.3.0, so almost the last one. That's great, and probably in order to support the SPI built-in receiver. Strongly advise each time to dump all the default settings, okay, into an empty text file. So copy, for example, or use the bottom right button to save some into a text file. Already did it. And if you want to restore your default setting, just copy and paste from this text file into the CLI. Don't forget to hand with the save command. Okay, let's have a tour. So I will need to reboot, and since it's an SPI built-in receiver, you shouldn't use any UART. So probably the unique UART uses for the USB connection. So let's check that. Okay. So let's check the port. Exactly here you can see that the UART3 is not used. Okay, so it's logical. In terms of configuration for the F3 MCU based board, we have a classic Quad X. This SHORT 600 is selected by default. The default frequencies are 2 kilo for the main PID loop and 8 kilos for the gyros. Can be a little bit pushed, okay, but we'll see if there are some extra vibration transmitted with this 19,000 kV. No specific board alignment. Be aware you need at least that the machine is more or less flat, level on a horizontal position. You have the name of the craft, okay, and here is a novelty. Yes, you have to an SPI RX, and as I said previously, originally it was on the FearSky X with 16 channel. I decided to turn more the D8 version in order to save some extra channel and order also to reduce a little bit the latency. It's not obvious if it can help, but at least it's not. And whatever the FearSky X or the D version, the RSSI will be here as well for the telemetry and for the OSD. That's great. And let's continue for the features. For the telemetry, you need absolutely to turn on the telemetry option for your transmitted on your radio important parameter, and also OSD is here. Okay, nothing special here to conclude. So, and let's check the battery. We have the ADC internal, more or less adapted for the LEHV, nothing specific. Let's check now the PIDs. I think it's a Betaflight 3.3.0 default angle. So probably, especially for tiny hoop, it's advised to increase a little bit the P channel max angle. I would turn probably something to 900 degrees, some stuff like this. Okay, and I will also apply more linear answers for the something about sorry. Okay, I will apply it like this. Okay, something about 600 degrees. The level stabilization is about 50, so it's absolutely the default. In terms of filter, we have the B quad. Seems that there is no specific frequencies set. Okay, and if we will meet some extra vibration, maybe the dimming filtering will be an option. The CPU load is still okay, 22%, so no huge not so much badly. For the receiver, so I will turn on the radio right now, and as you can see, especially for my jumper radio, the V1, still waiting the V2, I will need to select the another channel mapping, okay, error on first elevator and so on. So I will record, and now everything will be okay. Be sure that all your four channels will be centered to the 1500 values, and you have to go down between 1050 to 1950. So I have to play with the scale and the center to match all these values. Okay, but here no more RSSI selected. Don't worry, the RSSI will be still here on your OSD because it's passing directly through the SPI. Okay, don't forget, it's also advised to apply a deadband. The value of 4 is not a bad idea. Okay, so I will save it. And in term of mode, I've got the aux1, and I will use more the aux1 to arm, but more in upper position. And for the flight mode, I will add something more in angle, okay, like this. And I will maybe add the acro, okay, in the middle, and acro plus anti-gravity air mode on the last position. So I will add anti-gravity like this, and the air mode, okay, will be here in the last part like this. And I will select the aux2, sorry, and I forgot for this one, aux2. Then I can save that. So I'm angle here acro, and acro plus air mode plus anti-gravity. So no possibility to have a buzzer, but you have some buzzer pad on the board. That's great. Okay, so let's check the default OSD information. I already did some optimization. For example, the camera is confirmed to be an NTSC. Okay, you can select the metric, and I display a kept the RSSI, the main battery voltage across her. I removed the artificial horizon, the timer 1, kept only the timer 2, and kept the fly mode, the throttle, and I kept also this information. Not sure we can really read correctly the current draw, but whatever, we can save that, and eventually I will also change the police, okay, the fonts, in order to have something more wider on the screen. Okay, sometimes it's more easy to read everything when it's larger, and thanks to the clarity fonts, it's a little bit more easy, at least for my personal vision. So now everything sounds pretty well configured. Maybe we can also increase the beacon level strength, as you can see, and in order to find your lost machine within a radius of 3 or 5 meters if the battery is more stronger. Come to the outdoor demo flight of the Snapper6. So super compact, close to be 30 gram, 0603 brushless motor base. So we will see how punchy are these motors. Well, this is trade-off. Saved weight versus this new type of motors at spinning at 19,000 kV. Okay, so I will unplug everything, okay, and you can hear the battery now much more louder. Okay, everything is here. I will try to record. Yeah, the signal is here. Record, and let's see that. Let's arm everything. Okay, let's see a punch out. Well, not so bad, huh? For Super. Yes. Yes, it's fast. Yeah, it's punchy. We can try to fly in acro eventually. Yeah. Yeah, not bad. So flying smooth, very silent. I like, because, and let's check in. Yes, I am in angle and no real drift observed. This is great. So great indoors and outdoors flyers. Let's see another. Wow, it's better than the former HB65 I tested. I find it more powerful and super smooth, so I really like it. Look, that crow fly is great, and the battery is still strong. Great, great, great. Okay, and you have two front LEDs, can help you to keep your orientation for last flight. Great. Well, not super visible, but not so bad. Really super good surprise, good machine. Always the information I hear, it's super compact. Wow, we can have maybe a new Sebidoki award probably. I really like it. Okay, now it's time to go in FPV, and the flight time sounds super good. Huh? Incredible. We have close to be a winner here. Let's go. Okay, let's conclude about this Snapper6, and I will say immediately I am impressed by this machine. I give immediately, it was a long time I didn't give some, my new Sebi Doki award to this machine. What we have, it's strong, it's powerful despite the 0603, but they are spinning at 90,000, and as you can see it's acro compatible. Don't expect a power loop, but for basic flips and roll, etc. And if you want to recover from gain from lost altitude, it's possible. What I like, there is a full with information, not only the RSSI, but we have also some current reading correctly. That's great. Everything is very well configured out of the box. The possibility to tilt the lens orientation, close to 3 minutes of flight time, excellent FPV range. I like the IO FPV module. Really, it's a take. It can handle very well, pretty well for CMOS sensor, light transition. What to add more? The frame is durable thanks to carbon and some aluminum probe guards. That's great. I don't see any negative. Well, maybe no bother, okay, but if you can add 1 gram, but with the beacon trick, okay, you can have a pseudo bother. Really, I like this machine. It's strongly recommended. Oh, I forgot to mention, it's not drifting in angle 6-axis stabilized flight mode. It's great, just great. So, really recommended machine for indoors and even outdoors application. And the standard bundle is pretty good. So, double thumb for this machine. It's so pleasant to see time to time a very well engineered machine. See you next time. Bye bye.